In 2017, Riot Games sued the developers of Mobile Legends under accusations of copyright infringement. 1 year later, they were awarded a victory in their lawsuit. Problem solved. Not really. Moonton, the company behind Mobile Legends, was ordered to pay $2.9 million to Riot Games. It sounds like a lot of money, but when you put it into perspective, Mobile Legends has generated over $1 billion worth of revenue in the last 6 years. Riot Games generates over $1 billion almost every year, making this amount irrelevant. However, Moonton paid Riot their money and proceeded to never copy League of Legends ever again. That last statement is a lie. Although Moonton lost in court, it was technically a victory. They legally got away with years of blatant copying and essentially paid a small fee to be able to continue copying.
Wait, what? This is Draven! There is no way. What? Yes, it's Draven! Up until now, this is definitely the worst one, because this is a blatant copy. I mean, almost all of the abilities were blatant copies.
Now, coming back to the present day, 4 years later, Riot would create a new lawsuit. This time with a goal to be paid all of their profits earned in the US and to ultimately remove the game from the App Store. This is the 35-page lawsuit submitted by Riot Games to a California judge on May 9th, 2022. Obviously, we won't be reading the entire document, but here's some of the more interesting sections. From page 16 to 21, Riot shows examples of character designs that Mobile Legends has copied from Riot Games. Notably, they use an entire page to say that the Mobile Legends hero Eve is completely created by stealing aspects of Darkstar Jhin and 2 other splash arts. Page 18 displays how at a glance there is almost no difference between Braum from League of Legends and Baxia from Mobile Legends. Additionally, both characters use big shields in the game. Page 19 breaks down Moonton copying the Pool Party skin line, and so on and so on. What's interesting though is that after this document was submitted, Moonton literally went back and changed almost everything that Riot mentioned in this section. Since Riot compares the hero Guinevere with KDA Ahri for having the exact crystal tails, Moonton just went back, removed her tails, and replaced them with a crystal fox instead. Further down the document is when I think one of the more incredible parts comes in. From page 23 to 26, Riot features actual YouTube comments from gamers who claim Moonton is copying League. There are 7 comments from 7 unique users pointing out similarities within the 2 games. Some even in meme format. Wild Rift gets updated with new features by Riot Games. Moonton.
Write that down, write that down!
On page 25, Riot uses this screenshot to provide further evidence that Moonton takes requests from fans who suggest that they should take content from League of Legends. This comment specifically states appreciation for League's Seraphine event and character, and goes on to request that Moonton should do something similar. Moonton responds that it will pass the request on to its game developers to satisfy the fans' wishes. The document goes on to show other instances where Moonton has taken significant aspects from League of Legends and Wild Rift. The weirdest one is on page 30, where in 2020, Riot sent out custom Nike Air Forces to players as a promotion for Wild Rift. In 2021, Moonton shamelessly did almost the exact same thing.
Thank you, Moonton, for sending them over. How much would you be willing to pay for a pair?
And that's pretty much the end of the document. A ton of information displaying that Moonton is and has been intentionally stealing ideas and content from League of Legends and Wild Rift. On the 10th of November 2022, the US court officially dismissed Riot's case.
But you can't do this to me.
The court essentially said that it would be unfair to process this lawsuit in California when Moonton is a Chinese company and Riot's parent company is also Chinese. The result here may have been surprising to Riot, as in their lawsuit they even included multiple reasons for why this case should be heard in California. They state that Moonton has a United States division mainly residing in California. Additionally, Mobile Legends hosts servers in the US. Moonton has contracts with Apple and Google, both companies that operate in the US. And they even bring up the fact that Moonton agreed to Riot's terms of service that state that California would be the forum for any intellectual property disputes. But to be fair, no one actually reads the terms of service. Despite all this, the judge still dismissed the case. Precisely the type of allegations that the court already concluded can be adequately readdressed in China, said District Judge Michael Fitzgerald. Now here's the problem. Riot already tried things in China and they didn't get the result they wanted. And to make matters worse, the previous lawsuit concluded in 2018. Today, things are different. In 2021, Moonton was acquired by a subsidiary of ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok. Both Tencent, the parent company of League of Legends, and ByteDance are massive companies in China, both generating billions of dollars per year. As you can imagine, a new lawsuit between these two over copyright infringement in a country that barely cares about copyright laws probably won't be successful. So, what's next? To be honest, this looks like the end of Riot's legal battle against Moonton, and they have to accept that Mobile Legends completely got away with copying League of Legends. And it's worse than you think. Riot released their mobile version of the game in late 2020. However, I don't think things went how they expected. Although the game is certainly successful, it didn't succeed in taking Mobile Legends' player base. Here's a quick graph showing the annual user spending by Mobile Legends players. This does not include 2022 as the yearly report hasn't been completed. But as you can see, the release of Wild Rift had no effect on the player base. And then viewership-wise, comparing livestream numbers, Wild Rift is consistently ahead of Mobile Legends, but not by that much. And actually, if you look at these graphs, Mobile Legends is slowly growing in popularity, while Wild Rift is plateauing or even decreasing in popularity. And if you care about this kind of thing, a comparison of worldwide Google searches show that Mobile Legends has dominated Wild Rift on interest. Furthermore, it should be worrying that Riot just recently announced that they would discontinue their esports efforts for Wild Rift basically everywhere except for China and Southeast Asia.
As part of the new plan, outside of Asia, we will no longer directly operate Wild Rift esports leagues and instead unlock the opportunity for third parties to host events, so that we will have our priority and focus on the upcoming Wild Rift Asia League.
It goes without saying that Wild Rift likely didn't meet Riot's expectations, and this lawsuit was an attempt to control one of their biggest competitors. Their lawsuit specifically attacks Moonton's existence in the United States, a place that they believe they could influence. They want to continue growing Wild Rift while simultaneously erasing Mobile Legends from the US app stores. But of course, that didn't work.